Could you use a little grandpa time? Come on, let's walk and talk. I've been thinking a lot lately about all the ways that protectors show up in our life. And this morning, while I was meditating on the back porch, with Joey on my lap and Bodie beside me on his dog bed, I was noticing how they never carry yesterday with them. They never rehearse tomorrow. When they see a squirrel, they are pure aliveness. No story about whether they're good enough to get this one. No shame about all the squirrels they've missed before. Ashi's joining us on our walk today, the kitty. And when the moment passes for the dogs, it's gone. No residue, no suffering self, defending and evaluating. And the winter rain is like this. Comes down in sheets, brings a chilly darkness, and makes the creeks roar with no apology for obscuring the sun. The rain just is. Then it passes and the forest is filled with the scent of petrichor and the world is new again. These are protectors. Not the kind that shield us from pain, but the kind that remind us we're not separate from any of this. Watched a great video yesterday about how the indigenous people here in the Pacific Northwest have always considered Bigfoot a protector. And I have always been fascinated by the idea of Bigfoot. When I was a kid growing up in Rhode Island, I remember my mom dropping me off at the local movie theater to watch In Search of Bigfoot. And then when I first moved here to the wilds of Northern California, I secretly held out hope that I might actually hear or see one someday. And walking alone through the forest, I would stop whenever I heard what sounded like a branch breaking under something heavy, or a sound that might have been a howl, or maybe it was the wind through the canyon, or something in between. And my whole body went electric. Every hair stood up. I could feel something there. Not with my eyes, but with that older sense, the one we pretend we don't have anymore. And then almost immediately, my mind would step in. Don't be ridiculous. You're being childish. That's not possible. And I would just keep walking, dismissing what I'd felt, what I'd heard, protecting myself from my own wonder. And now, standing on the cusp of my 60s, I no longer feel childish for my fascination with and love for Bigfoot. Listening to the stories of the indigenous people about Bigfoot filled me with that familiar childhood wonder and joy again. It's so beautiful to feel a connection with a being that is so integrally connected to humanity and nature. A protector. A bridge from the part of us that's always striving to do and be something to the natural self that is simply here for a short while, expressing its humanity as a part of this earth and this universe. Because here's what happens when we forget we're whole. We get tired, so tired, and the mind works overtime trying to protect what it thinks is real. The anxious part that tries to anticipate every danger, running scenarios of everything that could possibly go wrong. The perfectionist that won't let us rest, insisting we're not good enough yet, not ready, not safe until we've achieved some impossible standard. Or maybe the people pleaser who exhausts us trying to earn love we already have. The inner critic that keeps up its constant commentary, pointing out every flaw, every misstep, every way we're failing to be what we think we should be. They mean well, these parts of us. They developed to keep us safe when we were young and actually did need protecting. But they're protecting a self that was never actually at risk. They're defending against a wound that can't touch what we truly are. And we forget that we're already the forest, the rain, the dogs beside us. We think we're just the worried mind trying to survive in the world. And that forgetting is lonely. Makes us feel like we're on our own, managing everything, holding it together by force of will. It makes us think love is something we have to earn, that belonging is something we have to achieve, that peace is waiting on the other side of finally getting ourselves fixed. And that is what protectors are. The real ones. The ones that don't need us to be anything other than what we are. They aren't protecting us from harming ourselves. They know that there is no way to harm what we are, and no need to fix what we are. They are pointing us toward that living connection to the immediacy of the senses, the experience of compassion that brings a deep knowing. We are all in this together. And the realization that all things must pass. Your protector says, you are whole. Remember that. It protects us from our own thoughts and beliefs about ourselves. They remind us that those thoughts and beliefs are not who we are. And these days, when I walk through the forests with Joey and Bodhi, I don't dismiss the goosebumps anymore. I don't know if I'll ever see Bigfoot, but I know that sense of presence is real. Not because I can prove it, but because my body remembers how to recognize what the mind has forgotten. Sometimes the dogs will stop and just look into the trees, their ears forward, absolutely still. They're not afraid. They're just watching and listening. And I stop too, and I watch and listen with them. The rain comes and goes. The dogs snap and chase the squirrels. The forest breathes. And somewhere in all of it, there's a knowing that we're held. We're whole. We've always been whole. The only thing we need protection from is the belief that we're not. So, tell me, who or what are the protectors in your life? Put it down in the comments. I'm eager to hear. And thanks for joining me on this walk.